The CanInfra Challenge has attracted many visionary ideas for infrastructure projects. The judges will have a difficult task to select only one. Most of those visionary ideas are focused on an expensive, shimmering mirage on a distant horizon. But CanInfra has attracted one idea that is not like the others. It costs nothing and it resolves a major challenge for infrastructure projects that impact Indigenous communities. Sustainable economic participation is a condition for approval of those infrastructure projects. But Indigenous groups don't have access to the capital required to purchase an interest in a project. The Indigenous Infrastructure Investment Trust, or 3IT financial framework, enables Indigenous economic participation in an infrastructure project. It also attracts international investment and institutional financing for the project. A look back at our shared history provides hope for renewed collaboration to create a better future with a 3IT framework. Since the days of the fur trade, collaboration with First Nations was needed to transport Canada's natural resources to global markets. Throughout our history, we have worked together, turning steel into railroads and pipelines, constructing bridges and skyscrapers, building highways and seaways. Then something changed. Collaboration was replaced by confrontation. We stopped trusting each other and working together. We lost respect and with it opportunities. Roads were blocked, gates were locked, and both sides retreated into their respective solitudes. Today, Canada's energy industry is not at a crossroad, it's in the ditch. Infrastructure projects impacting First Nations that are critical to Canada's economy have no clear and timely path to approval and completion. Every day of uncertainty and delay means greater lost opportunity. Canada's natural resources remain shut in the ground instead of being delivered to global markets. The fast-growing workforce of Indigenous youth and their communities remain shut out of the economy, living in shameful conditions of depressing poverty. It will take a group effort to get out of the ditch and back on the road. A solution can be generated by thinking global and acting local. In 2018, World Bank issued a report on mobilizing global sources of capital for participatory investment in infrastructure in developing countries, with returns from shared earnings, not a mathematical calculation of a percentage interest rate. A First Nation in Canada is like a Russian doll, a developing nation inside a G7 country with reduced geopolitical risk. Participatory investment from global sources of capital could be attracted into units of an investment trust in Canada. Bonds could be issued by First Nations Finance Authority for the small First Nations impacted by a project, and a supporting guarantee to the bondholders could be provided from Canada Infrastructure Bank. Under the 3IT framework, the infrastructure developer completes the construction of the infrastructure asset. The 3IT is created, and a portion of the trust units are issued at no charge to the small Indigenous groups impacted by the project. The developer transfers the asset to the trust and immediately leases it back. The trust arranges a blend of investment and debt financing equal to the value of the asset. Specialized global sources of capital make a participatory investment in trust units. Institutional sources of capital subscribe for bonds. The bonds are issued by First Nations Finance Authority, secured by the assets and cash flow of the trust. Canada Infrastructure Bank provides a guarantee to the bondholders. The trust pays the purchase price for the asset to the developer. The lease payments from the developer to the trust support financial distributions of earnings on the trust units to the First Nations and the participatory investors. Those lease payments also support the payment of interest to the bondholders. In the 3IT model, Indigenous communities get sustainable economic participation with no risk. That predictable revenue stream enables planning for improved local utilities and services. Industry gets to consolidate fragmented consultations and negotiations, accelerate approval and certain completion of the project, and reduce corporate debt. The 3IT model attracts participatory investment from global sources of capital and bond financing from institutional sources. It improves the linkages between government agencies. Invest in Canada, which promotes international awareness of investment opportunities in Canada. First Nations Finance Authority, which issues bonds on behalf of small Indigenous communities. And Canada Infrastructure Bank, which can provide a guarantee to bondholders financing infrastructure projects. 3IT offers a solution for many kinds of projects: power lines, pipelines, and other projects impacting communities along a route, power dams, coastal export terminals, and other projects impacting communities in a surrounding region. The CanInfra Challenge provides transformational leadership by creating a neutral forum for gathering a crowd and building consensus around an idea, forming stakeholders into a group, and transforming that group into a team. 3IT provides a platform for that team to create a future Canadian economy in which natural resources are no longer shut in and Indigenous groups are no longer shut out.